Hey everybody, welcome to episode 131 of Is This Thing Working? How you doing, Denise?
I'm doing good. I'm
Awesome.
doing good. Do you think
Awesome.
anyone out there has made up an opening for us yet?
I don't think they've had time yet.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I don't think they have time yet, man.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Well, we're here today with you on this Tuesday, and we're excited to be here. No rain last night that I know of. We slept along. We slept good. We slept a long time. It was awesome, really, to have some electricity. We are spoiled. We are a spoiled society to be without electricity for 12 hours, and you just can't sleep, eat, do anything that...
we talk about living off the grid, man. Could you do it?
Well,
I know I could. It would be an adjustment. It was kind of the same as any change in life that you make. It takes a few minutes, to
get used to it. And you're right, because yesterday when the electricity was off, as the time went on, we got more able to, okay, well, let's do this.
Let's deal with it.
Let's deal with it.
Let's deal with it.
And so then as soon as we did that, though, they showed up and fixed our electricity. So
which it worked out. We had a good show yesterday. We were able to get it out and to us, and I know you were too. I was itching to get one done.
We had to speak to you every day.
I was already beginning to get a bunch of apologies and mea culpas, to go, hey man, we couldn't get it out today. We're sorry, but it worked out for us, and it worked out good. Here's something that didn't work out good, and that was Dr. Fauci and his testimony yesterday on Capitol Hill. And we'll get into that here in a little bit. Because as everybody pointed out yesterday, he just continued to lie and lie and lie. And the bad thing is he doubled down on the same lies that he had already told us years past. And if we need a little reminder, here we go.
First of all, I didn't recommend locking anything down.
And the record will show, Neil, that we didn't recommend shutting everything down.
I recommended to the president that we shut the country down. And that was a very difficult decision because I knew it would have serious economic consequences, which is...
Yeah. So there you go. Just a reminder of the lies that he told the first time around.
And for our podcast audience, the years was, the first one was 2022. The second one was 2022. The third one was 2020.
Yep.
So that way you'll understand the timeline in what Fauci did.
Exactly. Before we get started today, though, let's remember our sponsor. Today, our sponsor is Brickhouse Nutrition. And one of the great products that Brickhouse Nutrition has is Field of Greens, your daily dose of vibrant nutrition, packed with organic greens, fruits, and vegetables. Each scoop delivers essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Simply mix with water or add to your favorite smoothie for a refreshing boost of vitality. Fuel your body with the goodness it craves. Experience the power of Field of Greens and thrive every day.
I love Field of Greens. I have some myself. I use it every single day. It gives me energy. After I get through drinking my coffee, of course, I have a green drink, and I love it, and I put it in my green drink. It's part of it, and they have different flavors. I have the wild berry, so check them out. Thank you to our sponsors and for you for clicking on the link below. Get you some Field of Greens. You'll feel better for it.
It's www.brickhousenutrition.com.
And before we start the show today, we want to state these are our opinions and our opinions alone. If you agree with us, tell your friends and share the show. And if you don't agree with us, tell your friends and share the show. We love the debate. Also, stump that like button and please follow or subscribe on all platforms wherever you see the name. Is This Thing Working?
Also, you can go to every show and podcast on our website, www.is-this-thing-working.com. Denise works hard on our website, and it's a great little site to go to. Check it out. You can find all of our shows there. You can find our podcasts there. You can find our sponsors.
And all specials
we put anything
out.
that we do, all of our content is right there. So check it out, man. Thank you so much for helping me and Denise grow. Don't forget, download the Rumble app so you can follow the show, and you'll receive instant notifications when we go live. We go live every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you, and let's get on with the show.
Let's do this. And we also always start with Trump Watch, because that's who we are voting for. I hope that's who you're voting for. And if you're not, please comment below and tell us why. Hey, we love the debate. President Trump's senior advisor did make a statement on his behalf last night. I want to read that first before we start here. They said, "We are moved by the outpouring of support for President Donald J. Trump. The American people saw right through crooked Joe Biden's rigged trial and sent Biden and Democrats a powerful message. The real verdict will come on November 5th, said Trump campaign senior advisors Chris LaCivita and Susie Wiles. President Trump raised $141 million in small donations alone this month because Americans remember the roaring economy, secure border, and peace through strength at home and abroad under President Donald J. Trump, and want us to return to prosperity and success when he is reelected in November." So there you go, folks. You heard how many small dollar donations have been given to President Trump. And the thing is, 141 million small donations, that's not counting the big ones. That right there tells you he won the election. $141 million.
And that came from Thursday night until now.
Yes.
What did they say? His earnings in June were already that?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, earnings, I say that, his contributions.
His contributions, yes.
Yeah, were already that. As you were sitting there reading his statement, LaCivita and Susan and Miss Wiles' statement is they talked about a time of great success, and they talked about a time of peace through strength during President Trump's presidency. That's the America we need back, man.
That's it. That Make America Great Again is what we are trying very hard to do with President Trump's help. Also, if you're interested in following President Trump, you can download the True Social app and, just follow him, and you'll get every bit of who he endorses. He posts articles, that will give you insight into what's going on in his campaign. And he posts statements and stuff like that. And if you miss his mean tweets,
they're there too.
They're there too. So that's fun. But it's really totally clean free speech platform, and it's free.
Yep.
Also download the Getter app, which is free as well.
Yes. Definitely download the Getter app.
So we're on those. Make sure you follow James and I on each of the apps. One more thing. We talked about this last night, yesterday. We talked about this, and I was wrong on the website for Trump Force 47. It's actually www.trumpforce47.com.
Yeah, not .org.
Not .org. So I apologize for that, but make sure you sign up there and volunteer. Yes, there was lots of money sent to President Trump and his campaign, but we also need you to volunteer. These leftists will try to cheat, and we are going to be an army of cheat busters, and we need your help. So please go there today and sign up. That would be awesome. That would be just great for us and to help us make America great again.
Yeah, so yesterday, big news, as we talked about even yesterday morning, that was definitely the biggest news of the day, and that was Anthony Fauci on the Hill.
Yeah,
talking to
COVID
the Senate
is always
Select
going
Subcommittee.
to be there.
Yeah,
it's always going to be there now, COVID, and we need people to be held accountable.
Yeah, and he should, of all people, he should be held accountable. Every bit of this falls on his shoulders, man. And that's my opinion, but every bit of it falls on his shoulders.
Well, sure, because he was the one that was on every mainstream media channel telling us this is what you're going to do.
Well, it was his policies, man. Mm-hmm. Most of all, it was his policies.
And we have a video that we're going to play that will give you a little example. Yeah, and this is from Representative Cloud, Texas 27, and he's talking to Fauci yesterday.
Yeah, and the questions that Representative Cloud asked him and the answers that Fauci given should just infuriate you, man. I mean, to the point. And it did me yesterday when we first heard this. Did it not? It did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. So here you go. Like Denise said, here you go. This is Representative Cloud and his questioning to Dr. Fauci and Fauci's replies to these questions.
I'm going to go through a list of COVID mitigation measures that you supported over the course of the pandemic and ask you to give me a yes or no as to whether you believe these measures were justified. Business closures?
Early on, when 5,000 people were dying a day, yes.
Church closures?
Same thing.
School closures?
Again, the
stay-at-home orders?
These were important when we were trying to stop the tsunami of deaths that were occurring early on. How long you kept them going is debatable.
Oh, my God.
Mask mandates for adults, mask mandates for children. Mask mandates for children under 5.
And going back to what I said before, all of that is in the context of, at the time, 4 to
Mask mandates for children
5,000
under
people a
5.
day
There's
were
scientific
dying.
evidence for that.
Excuse me?
Mask mandates for children under 5. There's scientific evidence supporting that.
There was no study that did masks on kids before. You couldn't do the study. You had to respond
Right.
to an epidemic that was killing 4 to 5,000 Americans per
Vaccine
day.
mandates for employees. Vaccine mandates for students. Vaccine mandates for military.
Vaccines save lives. It is very, very clear that vaccines have saved hundreds of thousands of Americans and millions
I'm not debating.
of
We're talking about
people
the
worldwide.
COVID-19. Did or do the vaccines, the COVID-19 vaccine, stop anyone from getting COVID?
I answered that question to the chairman. Early on, it became clear that
They did.
no, actually, no. In the beginning,
not.
it clearly prevented infection in a certain percentage of people, but the durability of its ability to prevent infection was not long. It was measured in months.
And they didn't stop you from spreading it either.
Early on, it did if it prevented infection, but what became clear that it did not prevent transmission when the ability to prevent infection waned.
I think
Doesn't that infuriate you? Everything that he tried to sit there and justify should infuriate you. His replies, his smugness, his arrogance in this should infuriate you. Do you want to debunk a few of his lies right here, right off the bat?
Sure.
I guarantee you I can. Listen to how disingenuous he was about the vaccines when he was asked about those.
Yeah, but you want to know something that I also thought of while that was going on is this was not a vaccine.
No, it wasn't. But when Representative Cloud asked him about the COVID vaccine specifically, as disingenuous as he could, he said, "Oh, vaccines save lives."
That's what I heard too.
Yeah, but not this one, dude.
This one was not a vaccine. It was an mRNA.
Yes.
It was not a vaccine. And the fact that they continue to call it a vaccine is disingenuous.
And one of the things that they continued to try back then to cancel people and ban you off of social media was when you would bring up the subject of the masks. And I got banned 6 different times back in 20 because I kept bringing up a mask study from the NIH from 2015 that talked about how ineffective masks were. Every bit of it talked about the ineffectiveness with a mask to control the spread of diseases, especially with diseases that they claim the particles were that small. There's
Yeah, see, that
no
was
way.
the big conversation at that time
Yes, it
about how
was.
big the particles were. And they couldn't even prove that.
Okay. He sits here and says, "Oh, there were no masked studies." Yes, there were, and you ignored them.
You know, and there was so many people, like you said, that just got canceled.
Yes.
You know, immediately, like Bongino. He was taken off of YouTube, immediately just gone because he was against the mask mandates. And he would say the same thing as you. There is a study.
Yeah.
Why aren't you looking at this study? And
Exactly.
he got canceled as well.
Well, and not only him, Naomi Wolf, she got pounded on.
Yes, and she
Dr.
is a
Malone got
Democrat.
pounded on. You know, everybody.
Yeah, there
Rogan
was so
got
many
pounded
people.
on. And all of that. And these guys sat right here and done all that shit to us. And then yesterday he turns around and doubles down on all the lies that he said before.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care that they mandated people to get all these vaccines. I mean, there was military people, people that had jobs, nurses,
People that
doctors,
lost their jobs,
people
man.
lost their way of life, lost everything, and they didn't get to go and get
They didn't even get their jobs
extra
back.
money. They unemployment. No, they got fired from their jobs.
Exactly.
You know, there was a lot that happened. We of course lost millions of loved ones over this country and the world.
Yes.
And this is what he does. This is what he goes in there and acts like everything he did is good. And I'm sorry, but I don't think he saved one life.
I can tell
by
you,
all this.
and I can tell you just from my circle of people that, in my network of friends and family right here in our little area of East Texas, I know, and I can say this with all confidence, that each and every person that I know personally was affected by COVID through a loss of life of a loved one. Man, every family that I know had somebody, at least one person, pass away from this. And it's not, again, the reason I call Fauci accountable to this is not so much even the lies. Maybe the whole system had him pressured into these lies. He was a part of it. You know what I mean? For that portion of it too. But his policies that he passed to where you could not receive the proper medications to help you, and the elderly were at risk most of all, and he knew that, and yet his policies prevented them from being treated properly and saved their lives.
I know. And the thing about him also is he does the blame game. He blames everybody else except for himself.
Exactly.
He does not take accountability. And this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I have an article here that was written by Post Millennial, and it mentions and warns, it says Fauci warns against podcasts, memes, and conspiracy theorists. He says the unvaccinated are responsible for 200,000 to 300,000 deaths. He says people who refuse to get vaccinated for any variety of reasons probably responsible for an additional 200 to 300,000 deaths in this country.
Sounds crazy, doesn't it? Sounds
but
sounds
see,
like if I was to tell you that, you would go, man, that's so ridiculous. I think you're BSing me. Surely he couldn't have said that. But check it out, man. Here we go. This is Representative Garcia questioning him on that very issue, and this is how this joker responds.
And do you think the American public should listen to America's brightest and best doctors and scientists, or instead listen to podcasters, conspiracy theorists, and unhinged Facebook memes?
Listening to people who you just described is going to do nothing but harm people, because they will deprive themselves of life-saving interventions, which has happened. And some have done studies. Peter Hotez has done an analysis of this and shows that in people who refuse to get vaccinated for any variety of reasons, probably responsible for an additional 200,000 to 300,000 deaths in this country.
Thank you, sir, and your entire team for saving lives in this country. And I'm sorry you have to continue going on with these attacks. And
So he literally sits there and blames podcasters, meme makers, other people. No, sir. That's not what you did. The people that came out with true, factual, logical information about all of the issues that was going on, the shutdowns, the masks, the separating the kids and closing the schools.
The no transparency. All of these things. These were the things that all of us seen, and we pointed out because they were true and factual. We had renowned, very qualified doctors. We had very renowned, qualified educators, very renowned, qualified other people that stood up and gave factual information. And what did you do? You canceled them. And you shut them down. They weren't allowed to be part of the conversation. It was your way or no way.
And you still, you wanted the responsibility back then, mister. You wanted to be Mr. I'm in charge guy. Now when, as they say, you shit the bed, now you want to turn around and blame everybody else.
Of course. Well, that's a Democrat. He actually led him to this question.
Sure he did.
He led him to this. And this was all planned, everyone, that, they're already setting up to take your voice away once again. But I'm telling you what we're here to do is we are narrative busters, and we will continue to fight with every other podcaster out there that was canceled during all of this. We will continue to fight with them and for them. And during the same hearing,
go to Rumble. They won't cancel you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Go to Rumble. Since President Trump, this thing that happened with President Trump, Rumble has soared.
Yes.
So Rumble is free speech.
Yep.
Everyone go to Rumble. They will try to take Rumble down, but they're too big now.
Yeah.
And then they are competition to YouTube. Go to Rumble.
Exactly.
You know, but another thing that really caught me is Fauci admitted that the COVID virus was not 100% effective against transmission of the virus.
Yeah, the vaccines, yeah.
The COVID virus is what he meant. I'm like, what the heck? What does this even mean?
He even tried to go on and say that the vaccines, they did work, but then they didn't. We didn't know about the durability of the vaccine. Well, then why are you shoving it into people's arms?
What did he say? They worked from the very beginning.
No, they didn't.
They did not.
They did not.
People continued to get COVID. They came out and said, oh, this will stop COVID. That's how they got people to take the COVID shot in the beginning. That's how that started. Remember, way back when?
Exactly. You know, even saying that right there, that well, it did work, then it didn't work. Well, it did work, but it won't work. Well, it will stop it, but it won't stop it. Let me tell you something. All of that right there, and I've had my troubles and my opinions about MTG over the last couple of years, but yesterday she had the best soundbite of all because she said, we should recommend you to be prosecuted. We should be writing a criminal referral for you. You should be prosecuted for crimes against humanity. You belong in prison. Amen, MTG. And I've been saying that just like I said yesterday. There is not a jail cell deep enough and dark enough for this dude. Transform your business with Shopify, the leading e-commerce platform designed for entrepreneurs of all levels. Shopify makes it easy to create a stunning online store with customizable templates and a user-friendly interface. Manage your inventory, process payments, and track your sales, all from one seamless dashboard. With built-in search engine optimization and marketing tools, you can reach more customers and grow your business faster. Plus, Shopify's secure and reliable hosting ensures your site is always up and running, backed by 24/7 customer support. Join over 1 million businesses worldwide who trust Shopify to power their online stores. Start your free 14-day trial today at Shopify and see how easy it is to sell online, in-store, and everywhere in between. Take the next step toward e-commerce success with Shopify.
Have you heard, though, that the Biden has quietly given mass amnesty to thousands of illegals while you were sleeping? Yes, this is the new thing that's going around. Have y'all heard about it? Biden admin offers mass amnesty to migrants as it quietly terminates 350,000 asylum cases. This is from the New York Post. I'm going to give them hat tip. While the Biden administration is attempting to look into its getting tough on the border behind the scenes, it's operating a program of mass amnesty for migrants. Data show that since 2022, more than 350,000 asylum cases filed by migrants have been closed by the U.S. government if the applicants don't have criminal record or are otherwise not deemed a threat to the country.
I think any of them that cross the border illegally are a threat to the country.
So do I.
Yeah, but keep going.
This means that while the migrants are not granted or denied asylum, their cases are terminated without a decision on the merits of their asylum claim. They are removed from the legal system and no longer required to check in with authorities.
Yep. This move allows them to legally, indefinitely roam the U.S. without fear of deportation, effectively letting them slip through the cracks. Okay, but what does this do with, was it Louisiana's law about being able to arrest illegal immigrants? Was it Louisiana also?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Texas.
And Texas. So what does this do about that right there? Just because you walk over here and you say you're an American citizen, that doesn't mean you are.
No.
So if you pull some stunt and the cops have to come and question you or talk to you or investigate you, whatever, and they find out you're here illegally because you can't prove you're a citizen, can they still arrest you? Can they still hold you for that?
I don't see why not.
Or does the amnesty part, is that what they're talking about? The amnesty part kicks in right there.
This whole thing confuses me, but I think they set that out there just to do that, to confuse us.
Andrew Arthur, a former immigration judge who works for the Center for Immigration Studies, kind of just answers this. This is just a massive amnesty under the guise of prosecutorial discretion. You're basically allowing people who don't have a right to be in the States to be here indefinitely.
That's what they're doing. So
Yeah.
those that come over here illegally, which I think they all are illegal because they're not following our laws by the way they come over here and try to claim amnesty when they don't need to. When their country
Exactly.
there's nothing wrong with what's going on in their country. They don't need to come over here and claim amnesty because of climate change.
But
That's ridiculous.
Well, imagine, can I go to Germany and then just, get off the plane and walk into the middle of Frankfurt and go, I'm a German now. And then expect to get all the rights of a German citizen? Should I? Can I? I don't.
Well, from the way they act here in America, you can. I mean, it's obvious, they're trying to do this New World Order government thing where everything is all one country all the time.
And it
so
is.
who knows?
It's going to head that way.
This is just really going to hinder our voting. This is what we're talking about, how we're going to be cheater busters, because this is another way that they have wrote into their laws that if you believe you're an American, you get to vote. So these people are 350,000 more voters on the roll.
Crazy.
That is crazy. But this, I'm going to remind you what Joe Biden has already done to America with this border. Did you know that Biden already took 296 executive actions on immigration during his first year in office? 89 of those actions directly reversed Trump policies. 207 of them did other horrible things. And I'm getting this from Charlie Kirk on X. He made this list. 207 of them did horrible things like greatly narrowing the number of illegals subject to arrest, detention, and removal, reducing barriers to U.S. entry, granting illegals access to government benefits, raising the refugee resettlement ceiling to 125,000.
Yep. Removing more than 1 million illegals from Myanmar and Venezuela from deportation lists. Seeking to remove other nationalities from deportation. This was blocked by the courts. And granting deferred action for people claiming to be victims of crime. This was all in the first 365 days of his presidency. Biden gloated about all of this at the time. This should be your only takeaway from this discussion, is what Charlie says, of tomorrow's order. We have the technology and the manpower to have zero illegal immigrants crossing the Mexican border right now. Every single smuggler, trafficker, and criminal entering this country is a choice. And for 3 years, Biden chose to flood this country with millions of the rest of the world's criminals, welfare cases, and parasites. Now he fears losing re-election, so he's trying to slow things down just long enough to keep the scam going another 4 years. Don't fall for it.
Don't fall for it at all, because this is what they're going to do today.
And as we read through all of that and knowing that this was coming out, that was my immediate response was, you're just pandering. Mm-hmm. You're just pandering.
Yeah, because the Democrats have a few senators, especially, because the senators, it looks like that the Republicans have a pretty good handle on winning the Senate next year. And there is a few little senators that their people are not happy with the border. And a lot of those are in the southern border, Texas and California and Arizona.
Yeah.
Those right there. They're pandering, and but Biden is going to decide to take the step, despite advice from legal and operational advisors, that such an order would likely be struck down in court. Do you think there's enough time for this to go through courts right now? It is
Not at all.
June.
Not at all. And if they cheat the election in 24, then that just goes away. And you know that, and I know that.
Yes.
And the whole thing with our government and the way that we see that they treat us, like I said yesterday, the only perspective we should have at this point in time is it's we the people against the government. The government themselves hate each and every one. They despise American citizens. They despise me and you.
Yes, they do.
And they're going to do everything in their power to continue to subjugate you and make you think that they're your leaders. They are not our leaders. And we're running a little long. I'm going to close on this right here. This is the point I wanted to make with this. We go back and we listen to Dr. Fauci and all the bullshit that he come up with yesterday and the lies and how he doubled down on everything. He doubled down knowing every bit of it. Do you think his motivation through all of that was to become some famous, I'm going to save the world Dr. Fauci thing? No, ma'am. because he made a statement also about forcing vaccine mandates on Americans. And this is what he said. Remember, forcing vaccine mandates on American citizens. He said, it's been proven that when you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit and they get vaccinated. There's your truth about how each and every one of them feel about us.
About you.
Now, going back to what we talked about before, how do you fight against these leftists? And how do you fight against these liberals? You take what they say and you take what they do and you turn it on its head and you use it against them. Let me tell you something. If we, as people of this country, make it difficult for those on Capitol Hill in their lives, guess what? They will lose their ideological bullshit.
Is this thing working?
Rise up. Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.